Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. Today we're back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast. Today we've got ourselves a Terran versus Terran. I feel as if it's been a while since I've cast one. I can't remember, to be honest, but it feels like a while, so we're well overdue for one. And anyway, we've got two great players here. The first, spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map, New Gettysburg. It is DeMusliM. And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left-hand side of the map, currently on a barcode account, playing for Team Orcs. The blue Terran, I believe it is CripSeil. I'll probably just refer to him as Crip for this cast. Anyway, so a TvT. Now, what's interesting about this is that CripSeil here actually plays Protoss and Terran at a Grandmaster level. He's not necessarily a very well-known pro, but he plays at a very high level with both races as far as I'm aware. He had something like, I was looking at his account, and he had something like 500 games this season, so that is a lot of practice, so it should be a good match between these two. So, standard TvT openings here. Well, actually, TvT is sort of TvT can really go any direction, so there's not necessarily the most standard openings, but right now it's generally gas first, and both players have gotten a very quick gas. Interestingly enough, DeMusliM actually went for a very quick double gas, so likely going to be going for a factory, possibly a tank push, maybe a Banshee, but this is a very quick double gas from DeMusliM. Those two gases before his barracks even finishes up, so he's going to want to get tech very quickly. Meanwhile, CripSeil getting up a fast CC, it looks like here, so he's going to be sort of the defender in this situation from DeMusliM's aggression. DeMusliM, that factory already on the way. A Reaper coming out for both players. Generally in TvT right now, you want to open up with a Reaper. Otherwise, you might just die, because say your opponent opens up with multiple Reapers or goes for a quick Reaper Hellion build, you can just be straight up overpowered. Marines don't usually cut it in openings in TvT anymore, unless it is a very safe map, such as a 4-spawn map, but it is not on this map. It can be a very quick rush distance. Interestingly enough, Crip actually going for a wall off with this supply depot, wanting to stop any sort of Reapers from DeMusliM or Hellions from coming in and just sort of just running in, because he did go for that quick CC, which isn't necessarily so common in this matchup right now, so he's playing safe and going for that cute little wall off there to make sure that he stays safe. Meanwhile, DeMusliM now just getting up his own CC, so he is going to be on the economic back foot, but he is getting up a factory, he's getting out Reapers. We're going to see how he decides to follow this up, whether he goes for a Starport or maybe Cyclones. Really, a Terran can go for anything in this match. Opting to get a Reactor before anything else right now. Possibly for Reactored Hellions or for Marines. Looks like he is throwing up a Starport right there. So DeMusliM definitely going to be bringing out the aggression in this game. He probably tried to rally his units here across the little land bridge, but obviously there's that supply depot messing with the pathing. So DeMusliM might actually be able to kill the supply depot right now, but it's going to buy Crip time, and that's what Crip wants right now. Crip getting out 2 Hellions just in time, so now it's going to be 2 Hellions versus 2 Reapers. Interesting dynamic for a fight right now, but it seems that DeMusliM is taking the worst end of it, and he's going to lose both of his Reapers and possibly even both his Hellion as well. That is actually a massive victory for Crip at the start of this game. DeMusliM committed too far in, and he was sort of caught off guard there. More Hellions on the way for Crip, so he could possibly go for pressure onto DeMusliM right now. DeMusliM now just producing Marines. Hellions can definitely get in, get damage done versus units like this. DeMusliM getting out a Medivac, a Siege Tank, possibly going to be going for a drop or maybe a push along those lines. But for now, Crip is going to be in quite a good position here. Already got that orbital up. DeMuslim's just making. DeMusliM has been producing SCVs this whole time, so he is ahead in that regard, but the extra mules are likely going to make up for that here. But I guess Crip not taking full advantage of that quicker CC, and DeMuslim's wasn't super late. Right now, though, we see Crip moving in with these Hellions. He managed to pick up DeMuslim's Hellions, so now he's trying to abuse that right now. Forces some workers to pull, forces DeMusliM to lift off with his units, but he does take damage on all those Hellions, and the Reaper there, the Reaper will regenerate, but the Hellions will not. Now, these Hellions can always sit out, try to get some damage done. Meanwhile, DeMusliM moving out with a Medivac filled with a siege tank and some Marines, and these Hellions are actually going to fry the Marines in DeMusliM space. He is going to lose one of the weak Hellions, but now these workers are vulnerable. Meanwhile, DeMusliM's drop is going to move across the map, but Crip has a Raven back at home, a Viking. This is really all you need to shut down an attack like this. He even lands the Viking. Might not want to do that so he can pick off the Medivac. Yeah, he's going to put that back into the anti-air mode, but an auto turret can do so much damage here. And one of the Marines already goes down. Most of the Marines are already gone. The Medivac's going to go down. So this attack for DeMusliM is cleaned up. And right now, it seems that some workers were lost for DeMusliM. Their resources lost if we take a look at that. DeMusliM is definitely behind that drop, accomplishing nothing. Workers forced off the line. But yet, DeMusliM has simply just been producing Marines this whole... well, SCVs this whole time. So he's still ahead in that regard. Oh, this is where this game gets interesting right now. We see Crip is actually opting to go for a Raven Hellion style. Now, this is a style which we don't see too often. It's not necessarily thought as the best style, but this is possibly going to catch DeMusliM off guard here right now. He's opting to get that explosive shrapnel upgrade. He's getting the Corvid reactor, so he's going to be able to get these Ravens out. They'll do so much damage. The reason why this style works is early on in a match of Starcraft 2. Auto turrets in the current stage Legacy is void. If you remember from Heart of the Swarm, you might remember that auto turrets did almost no damage. They just sort of sat around. Yeah, maybe they could harass, but they really didn't accomplish much. But in Legacy of the Void, auto turrets do something like 12 damage a shot, which is absurd. With explosive shrapnel, I believe it bumps it up to maybe 16, somewhere around there, and that just shreds through Marines. They don't last as long, but they sure get tons of damage done. Now, with the auto turrets coming down, they can clean things up like siege tanks. Like Vikings don't even matter that much because they just throw out the damage so quickly. DeMusliM is moving out with these Vikings right now, and he is sort of securing a supply depot kill with his one Cyclone. These Hellions might actually try to get on top of this. CripSeil does need to be careful. Losing a Raven is a very expensive loss right now, but these Ravens are going to be able to throw down PDDs, auto turrets if they need. And now DeMusliM did get a scout on those Ravens though, so I don't think it was worth it for Crip to reveal that, because a style like this works very well to catch the other Terran player off by guard here. But Crip could very well go for an attack right now. He's up on army supply. DeMusliM has gone for a fast 3rd CC, whereas Crip is just staying on 2, so that is why he's ahead on army supply. DeMusliM's actually must have dealt with a style like this before, so he's throwing up 3 bunkers, and knowing that Hellions are not good versus units in bunkers, but the auto turrets will still do good damage, and DeMusliM doesn't actually have that much bio right now. It's something like 13 Hellions and 6 Ravens. That's a lot of auto turrets. There is 5 Vikings though for DeMusliM, so these Ravens will go down very quickly while they're sort of tanky. The Vikings are going to be a massive nuisance for CripSeil, and interestingly enough, CripSeil actually morphed these into Hellbats, so he's going through some sort of Hellbat timing. I have seen Hellbat timings like this before, but right now all the Ravens are getting picked off by these Vikings. Simply nothing to contest it, burning energy on PDDs, and so many of these Ravens have gone down. It's actually a Hellbat all-in versus a Terran right now, but there's still simply so many Hellbats. The siege tanks are trying to get work, but they're caught up on the auto turrets, and it seems this attack for Crip might actually work here. He's picking off all these units. Another auto turret goes down. The Vikings have landed to try and deal with this, but the Hellbats put out so much damage right now. All the Ravens have gone down, so very expensive losses for Crip here, but now he's getting Hellions into the main base of DeMusliM. There's still Hellbats, which are just such a nuisance for DeMusliM to clear up in this situation. DeMusliM, emergency evacuation of the SCVs, but another Raven comes in, and they can throw up auto turrets right away with that Corvid reactor, possibly even going to pick off this siege tank. Yes, they will. Maybe the Viking too. No, the Viking just survives here. But for now, DeMusliM's economy has been devastated. He's now down on workers. CripSeil, he's following this up. More Ravens on the way, more Hellions. 3rd CC on the way, so he's finding himself in a very good position. Another Raven comes in, 2 more auto turrets go down, picks off a Medivac, disrupting the mining of DeMusliM even more. This is such a neat style to be seen at this high level of play with this mech. A siege tank almost going down to those Hellbats. Yes, most of the Hellbats have been cleaned down, but now the 3rd base has been ransacked. DeMusliM down to 30 workers versus 50 for Crip. Crip getting even armor upgrades for his mech units because he wants these Hellbats to be tanky. He wants these Ravens to be tougher. Crip, even up on army supply right now, he has some more Ravens and Hellions. He could go in for another attack. And once again, all the Vikings are gone for DeMusliM. He lost them, so these Ravens are going to be even more potent than before. Sure, there's siege tanks for DeMusliM right now, but as we saw before, those auto turrets are simply so effective versus them, and Crip's actually bringing more units across the map right now. Another 3 more Ravens flying. Going to meet up with these other 2. I think this might just be the killing move for Crip. Believe it or not, we're going to see Ravens and Hellbats kill someone. And we'll kill another Terran player right off the bat. This is such an interesting style to watch. We see a planetary going down for Crip, wanting that extra safety, as he now secures his third base, secures his economic lead, and now he might possibly even just kill DeMusliM here. No, he is transforming these Hellions. It seems he's just going to harass this third CC, and now we might actually see these Ravens might be able to kill this CC. No, he's not going to waste the energy. But if he did throw down all those auto turrets, he might have been able to kill it, because they simply do so much damage. And some players sort of go into... Now, this style has been seen once or twice by a few players. It's not very common at all at high levels, but usually they follow it up more with tanks, more with Vikings and establishing that air control, as Ravens are a very expensive commitment, and it's tough to use them versus straight up bio. But no, Crip is just sticking with this Raven style. He's making it work right now with 3 more starports on the way. This is absolutely bonkers how he's committing to this much. Gonna have undisputed air control right now. DeMusliM's gonna say, okay, I'm not even gonna bother making Vikings right now. Well, A, he's in a bad economic position to do that, and B, there's no way he'll be able to contest this air control. Right now we see DeMusliM, so many reactors going up, so he's going to be able to reduce Marines by the ton, but right now we see an engagement going down. These auto turrets, so much damage coming out of them, cleaning up the siege tanks. DeMusliM's entire army is forced to pull back. These Hellions just crushing this army. These Marines are not effective versus Hellions, which now have Blue Flame. The third base of DeMusliM is going to be ransacked. Once again, these Hellions are going to fry these SCVs, and I don't think DeMusliM's going to be able to hang on right now. Once again, forced to lift the third base. So many Ravens are left for Crip. How many Ravens is that? That is 9 Ravens. He's going to get on top of this army right now. The auto turret's going down, forcing DeMusliM to pull back yet again, but to what? These Hellions are enough to kill this army at this point. So many auto turrets going down. SCV is going to start dying, and look, even the third base is, well, the natural's starting to go down. Doesn't matter. GG is called. Crip manages to take the game with a fantastic style. They are very well played to him. Sort of catching DeMusliM off guard there. He didn't really know how to deal with it by the looks of it. Crip got himself into a sort of good early game situation there, and then it just worked out from there. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed this cast, I'm glad I could bring sort of such a different, exciting TvT. If you have casting feedback, let me know. Otherwise, I shall see you next time.